Greetings, Local 2627 sisters and brothers. Today is Monday, February 9th. It's slippery and cold out there, so be careful. Let me give you a couple of updates. The first thing is last week, Blue Cross Blue Shield was hacked. Let me say this again. Blue Cross Blue Shield was hacked. Now, Blue Cross Blue Shield is not sending anything electronic to anybody. If you receive something that's coming from Blue Cross Blue Shield, it's not Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's a bogus company trying to get your personal business. By no means do you ever open up anything from Blue Cross Blue Shield until you get the letter from them. They will use snail mail, or better known as U.S. Postal Service, to contact you and let you know what you should do. But I'm telling you right now, do not open up anything from Blue Cross Blue Shield. And if you have, don't answer any of those questions, because it's the hackers trying to get your personal information. We're sending out a letter to this effect on our e-alert system. You should be receiving it shortly. And you should wait for your letter from Blue Cross and Blue Shield, because they're not doing this, like I'm saying, electronically, because they want people to be able to tell who's the hacker and who's not. If you're on a civil service list and you haven't been called, and it seems to be no movement of you being called, you need to go to labor relations and find out why. You need to tell them that you're on the list. Make sure your managers know that you're on the list, that they can call you. And especially if you're provisional. If you're provisional working on a title that there's a list for, it costs them nothing to put you into that title permanently. So check on that. If you're on a list and you know you're on a list, find out from your labor relations or your HR department what's happening, how come you're not being called. Now, there are 24 fair share states. Fair share states mean that everybody pays their part. Now, there are 26 right-to-work states, which means there are more right-to-work states than fair share states, which means that they're trying to disband the union. If this becomes a right-to-work state, then you wouldn't have to pay dues. You have the option of paying dues or not paying dues. If that happens, then how are you going to fund lobbying the politicians? Who's going to be the administrator? How are you going to have your things administrated in the city and the union and things like that? How are you going to get all these union benefits? And they're trying to dismantle the union by making every state a right-to-work state. So be aware of this. This is not something you want to happen, especially if you have a lot of time left to do in the city, because you'll wind up with nothing. So keep in mind, we're not interested in anything that says right to work. Nothing at all. Because what they're going to do is, like I'm saying, they're going to dismantle the unions. And I mean, they're on their way of doing it right now. Remember, in the early 1900s, we had about 11% of this country was unionized. And through the 30s, 40s, and 50s, we had about 40% of this country unionized. Now we're back down to about 11% again. They want to dismantle us. The big private corporations want to make all the money themselves by not paying people a reasonable wage, not giving them insurance, not giving them pension plans. So be careful. Make sure that you go to the polls and you vote when you have to vote, and make sure you vote for the people who are supporting our cause. 2627 is having their annual Black History celebration on Friday, February 20th. It's always a great show. We always have a couple of hundred people there. Come out. There's light refreshments. Enjoy. There's a housing seminar this week. Not this week. The week of the 25th. Actually, it's Wednesday the 25th. There's a housing seminar that starts at 5:30. If you're interested in buying a property, whether it's a house or a condo or a co-op, I mean, come down. You get the chance to meet the banks. You get a chance to meet the inspectors. You get a chance to meet the realtors. I mean, this is very valuable to you. And get your piece of the rock while the rock is still available, because they're trying to close us down. These big private corporations are trying to take that away from you too. They're trying to make New York Shangri-La. I mean, only the people will be able to live in New York are millionaires sooner or later. So be careful. Get your piece of the rock while you can. The last thing the next to last thing, and this is going on the good and welfare. Do the right thing, February 14th. February 14th is Valentine's Day. Do the right thing. Especially you gentlemen out there, do the right thing. And my advice to you is, give her what she wants, not what she needs. Give her what she wants, not what she needs, and everything will be all right. So let's do the right thing, fellas. Valentine's Day. And women, you know you have an obligation too. So everybody do the right thing, okay? Good and welfare this week. Michelle Smith from DOHMH. She had a death in her family. And of course, our love and sympathy goes out to her at this time, and our sorrow goes out to her. Andrea Sanders, which is the wife of Senator James Sanders, State Senator James Sanders, his wife is recovering from injury and hospitalization. So our love goes out to her, to him and her. And until I speak to you next week, in solidarity, this is Robin Ajay.